Welcome to Music Over Matter. Today we are going to be spinning a wheel with a bunch of moods and situations on it and picking the album that comes to mind for us. Play along with us in the comments, of course. Let us know what your go-to album for each of these moods or situations would be. So let's get started. Let's start it off with our first wheel spin. All right, so we got Stormy Day. So what album are you gonna put on at a stormy day?
It might be a weird pick for it. Like, you know, I'm envisioning looking outside a window and just seeing the rain hit the window and like thunder in the background, you know? I put So Far Gone by Drake.
Okay.
Just like a hungry album that you can listen to.
I think that's a fair pick.
Yeah, I also have some of them we have honorable mentions for. I have Hendrix by Future.
Okay.
More of a sad vibe looking out the window.
Like everybody passing through the studio is in characters, ain't miss 24 hours from greatness. I'm that close.
For me, I'm going with the album that every single time I listen, it just like, it's like a sad album, but it's also not. It's just like the melancholy type vibe. That's Care For Me by Saba. It's just a good like mix of story, but also like the hard type of vibe and then the sad vibe. I don't know. It's just the perfect mix. I think that's the best song for a stormy day.
Yeah, the gray.
Yeah, gray. I think there's a correlation between piano and trumpets, like jazz type instruments, with rain because of noir. You know, the detective type movies. I think that's just ingrained everyone's brain to just associate jazz with rain.
Yeah, the kind of the way I see that whole album is, I think Care For Me is kind of still a summer vibe because it feels warm as an album, even though it's like darker. To me, it feels like it's raining outside, but it's still hot. Like,
Yeah,
you know, it's that like weird, humid.
Yeah, I think you have a different perception on that than most people because you live in Vegas.
Yeah.
So it rains and it's still 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, let's get ready for that next spin. Another nice spin. We got Nostalgic.
Kind of the same atmosphere, I feel like. Depends on the album you go with. Nostalgic and Stormy Day. For me, you can either go with this spin. You could either go nostalgic, like the album itself sounds nostalgic, or you go with an album that is nostalgic to you. I'm going with the latter. So I'm going with an album that's nostalgic for me. This is a very weird pick. I work a job that allows me to go to a ton of concerts. There's still not a concert that has beat the Weeknd's After Hours Till Dawn tour. Holy shit. This show was so good. The musicality of it is different than any other concert I've ever seen. And for that, I'm going with live at SoFi. Of course, we didn't go to the SoFi show. We went to the Allegiant Stadium show in Vegas, but it's the exact same show. So this album just hits a certain thing for me. Yeah, that shit hits so hard in person.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
That shit was my first concert, and that set a high-ass bar for it. The transition to Crew Love is crazier than that, in my opinion, but...
Maybe. We can listen to that, too. The Weeknd just does it different. Other concerts that I've worked or been at, the transitions aren't there. They rarely change the actual song like the Weeknd does. Like Often, you just heard the little bit of Often. That does not sound like the real version of Often. It's so different. It's crazy. All right, anyways, enough of the Weeknd.
For me, my nostalgic, I also went with something that makes me feel nostalgic, not an album that sounds nostalgic.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go with this too, but I'm going to go with Beer Bongs and Bentleys. We've mentioned it before too on, I think, our re-reaction. Just a lot of memories with this album. We went to a Hawaii trip in the summer, and this was kind of the soundtrack for it. It was pretty much the only thing we played for the entire trip.
For me, it's not nostalgic anymore because I play this. This is my summer album, or one of my summer albums, I guess. So the nostalgia from that trip is no longer there.
Yeah,
I listen to this shit so much.
I've kind of avoided it to keep
That's
that
fair.
like, memory for it.
Everything that I needed. You can play on me.
Such a shame Post has moved on from hip hop.
Yeah.
I know some people are pissed about him about culture vulturing or whatever, but I don't give a fuck. It's a shame because his hip hop shit's stony and beer bongs.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. If you're enjoying the mood wheel of albums so far, be sure to scroll down and hit that subscribe button for us. And while you're down there, Let us know if we should do this with songs as well instead of albums. And let's get back to it. Let's move on to our third spin. All right, so we got Aux Banger, completely different vibe from Nostalgic or the first one. What's your Aux Banger album?
This is like kind of hard to choose because you're always on the Aux, you're looking for a specific song. A whole album is like a lot harder.
The only time you're really looking at an album most of the time is if you're going on a long road trip or something.
Yeah.
But
I had to choose something that was kind of not a lot of deep topics and easy to listen to for everyone. I'm going to go with I Never Liked You by Future.
Okay, good pick, I think. A lot of bangers on there.
Yeah.
Like people know most of the songs on there.
Yeah, only a couple skips that you would skip in the car.
Yeah, for nut. Same thing, right? You're trying to find an album that's just full of bangers, songs everyone kind of knows, even if they're not like too deep into hip hop. I did write Heroes and Villains by Metro. There's tons of bangers on that, but I just thought
that is a good pick though.
Yeah, but I just thought of a new one, and I think this one's actually better. Let me know your opinion. Love is Rage 2. I think that one might be better. I think every single song on Love is Rage 2 legitimately is a hit.
Yeah,
that album is
that's a really good pick.
And I got a colorful aura, like I got neon guts. Smoking good kush my cologne. Got neon guts cause I can't see in the dark.
All right, let's do that next wheel spin. Kind of a strange one of the most strangest ones that we have on this wheel. What album makes you feel like a god?
Yeah, so this is going to be confidence. What album do you listen to when you need an ego boost or you want to walk around like you have an ego? You know what I mean? I feel like everyone gets in those moods sometimes. You can't show it though, because then you're just an asshole. You have to find that artist that the beats are hard, but it's the artist's tone. And for me, I don't think there's a better album than Get Rich or Die Tryin' by 50 Cent. I stay high all the time. Fuck your money. I ain't hurting. I'm alright. Nigga, I'm doing good. How could you listen to 50 Cent's voice and not just like raise your confidence level? Not only that, but his personality now obviously is so funny.
I went with the basic as hell pick. I went with Yeezus. Even, there's a song literally on it called I Am a God. I think, of course, I'm going to pick that. Of course, on there, the beats are hard as hell. But even like some slower songs like Hold My Liquor and Guilt Trip, his tone of voice on that song and his rapping, it just like lifts you up.
Back out my coma, waking up on your sofa.
Let's move on to our next wheel spin. All right, so we got the complete opposite of our last one. We got Calm.
Yeah.
So this is an album that makes you feel calm, or maybe you pick one that is the first calm album that comes to your mind.
Mine's kind of a deep cut for me, at least.
Okay.
I got like a whole story with it. I have two that I'll talk about, but the first one I'll actually go with. I have Satellite Flight by Kid Cudi.
Okay.
And I also have Vince Staples' self-titled, just for a different mood. Satellite Flight, it's a very strange album, like a lot of instrumental on it, or like very, very sad songs on it. But I just remember super late at night playing Portal 2 in the summer. This was the soundtrack to that. The electronic vibes of the album just like kind of fit that mood that I was kind of in. So
for me, I don't listen to calm music too much. That's just not what I like listening to, but I have two. I have Assume Form by James Blake. Insane singing, obviously. James Blake music is extremely chill. And I saw someone on Twitter, X, whatever, saying that James Blake sings like a ghost. And that's probably the best adjective I've ever heard to describe it.
yeah.
The other one, which is more instrumental based, is going to be 423 by Mike Dean. Assume Form by James Blake.
Who gon' slide? Who's in? Big rocks round, new 10. In my arms, rep 10. Don't know where you start.
Yeah, for that album too, I kind of have a story for it. Last summer when we flew across the country, we didn't want to pay for the Wi-Fi on the plane, so we had to we had to pick and choose what albums we wanted to listen to because we had to download them on Spotify. Assume Form just hits different when you're like super high up and like the cold air is just like blowing on you and you have your eyes closed.
Yeah.
Shit. Let's go on to our 6th wheel spin. All right, so we got creative.
Okay.
So this is an album that kind of gets you into that creative mindset.
Or maybe you think of it as creative. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to think of it as. When I want to get into a creative mindset, I listen to Damn. Kendrick's storytelling on Damn is probably the best I've ever heard on an album, purely because, I guess, 2 reasons. 1, forward and backwards makes sense. 2, it's not right in your face, and you have to dive in a little bit to get it. So anytime I listen to it, it like makes me in that creative mindset, basically.
Yeah, like the story isn't, you have to perceive songs as certain things. It's not like Good Kid, Mad City, where there is a story kind of shoved at you, which is a good story.
Yeah.
It's a good ass album, but you know, you have to dig
Damn
a little
is just
deeper.
yeah. Damn is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Had a couple of shooters caught a murder case. Fingerprints on the gun, they assuming, but witnesses couldn't prove it. Top dog could be serving life while I grew up without a father and die in a gunfight.
I'm gonna go with Rodeo by Travis Scott. Even though I've been listening to this album for almost a decade, which is kind of terrible to say, I think every single time I listen to it, I get something new out of it.
Yeah.
Even if it's like super subtle, the synths that play on Nightcrawler, or the melody on Pray for Love, which is one of the greatest things I've ever heard, to the pianos on Impossible.
Yeah.
Like there's always something that just hits different every single time you listen to it that just stands out. And that Chief Keef verse got me in the creative mindset. Went to the gun store and ordered me some guns.
Yeah, true.
Holy shit.
All right, let's move on to the next wheel spin. All right, so we got the gimmicky one on our list, which is Lil XD. So this is gonna be a funny album,
Yeah. What's an album that makes you laugh?
or like there's funny shit in it.
Yeah. I have 2 for this one again. I have The College Dropout from Kanye because of the skits, or, you know, some of the lyrics that he has on there, pretty funny. And then I have Relapse by Eminem because a lot of that album is just kind of crazy and weird. Actually making me laugh, I'm gonna go with The College Dropout.
I ain't never tell you to put down your hands. Keep 'em high. Cause we don't wanna hear that weak shit no more. Throw your motherfucking hands.
Yeah, he has some funny songs on there, like some lines in Breathe In, Breathe Out, or like New Workout Plan in general, even though that song sucks. But
For me, my funny was either Relapse by Eminem, but I think Relapse by Eminem it's a different type of funny.
yeah,
It's like disturbing funny, like kind of psychopathic funny, but I think the funniest Eminem project is Slim Shady LP. Almost every song on Slim Shady LP has one unbelievably childish and stupid ass bar.
Never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. I never meant to bring you to my world. I'm over here, so you're talking to the plant. Look, we need to get to a hospital before it's too late.
You've never heard My Fault by Eminem, dude. One, what are you doing? But also, Jesus Christ, that song is crazy.
All right, let's go on to the next wheel spin. All right, so we got Energized.
One album that just picks you up and like locks you the fuck in. For me, it really comes down to the way the artist raps. Again, like Get Rich or Die Trying could work here as well. The album that locks me in is Key Glock, Glaucoma 2. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. It's the Memphis beats and the way Key Glock raps. Every time a song from that comes on, you're just in the zone.
I just bought a new blue pinky ring. My heart coat is icebox. Number 1 rule, get that money, man. Everybody wanna be rich. You gotta get off your ways and get up on your shit.
How could you hear that and not just like get ready to run through a wall?
I just went with some just straight energy on the
Okay.
whole album. I did Unlocked by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats.
Yep.
How long is it? Like 18 minutes or something like that? Just 18 minutes of just energy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, a lot of people forget to talk about that when talking about Denzel because it's short. Fair enough, but perfection. 18 minutes of perfection.
My bitch bad like battle rappers that make albums with no outcome. Extra middleman, no Malcolm. Hysterical, I'm historical. I am the oracle. I've been know what's in store for you.
Let's move on to our next spin. All right, so for this one, we got spring, summer vibes. We already talked a little bit about it earlier with nostalgia. What is your summer, spring album?
There's a ton I could have picked from. I'm actually going to go with The Life of Pablo. I talked about Kanye a lot in this, Jesus. But I'm going to go with The Life of Pablo. I feel like the album, most of the album is fairly, like, feels warm. It got some bangers on there that you could play in the car with a bunch of people when it's hot out.
Yeah,
outside, so.
True. Going to the beach or some shit,
Yeah.
I feel like.
I made that bitch famous. Goddamn. I made that bitch famous. Young and we alive. We never gonna die.
For me, we already mentioned it, so we're not going to listen. It's Beer Bongs and Bentleys. It's just the perfect summer album to me. We got a comment on our re-listen to it. It was very early on our channel. Most people probably have not seen it. But someone said it's a winter album. And I'm like, that's crazy how different music is to people. That's some crazy shit, dude.
Let's go on to our 10th spin. And for this last spin, we got Evil.
Just an album that makes you feel evil.
Yeah.
Maybe pisses you off a little bit. Maybe you're in that mood that you want to be angry at something. I don't know. Whatever.
Or it just sounds evil.
There's no crazier album. You could go with like Relapse, but again, it's like that is psychotic funny. You know, like if it's the chaotic good scale or whatever, that's like Relapse is like chaotic good. It's just like kind of funny. Eminem to me is the evil artist, right? Maybe besides King Von, but that might be a little bit too real. Marshall Mathers LP is the evil Eminem album because he is like partially serious. I feel like there's some evil ass tracks, especially like Kim, obviously.
Yeah.
Whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? I won't sign your autograph. You can call me an asshole. I'm glad because I am.
The evil album I'm going to choose is going to be Whole Lotta Red by Playboi Carti. A lot of the subject on the album is pretty evil or has that like rock star feel on it. And Carti is kind of strange too.
Yeah, strange is a nice way to put it.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Whole Lotta Red.
Take my shirt off and I'll hold stop. Take my shirt off. I've been thinking about homicide. I've been thinking about homicide.
Homicide. All right, so that sums up our mood wheel of albums. Again, let us know in the comments what your albums would be. Let us know if you like this idea. We'll do it with songs instead. And of course, let us know other moods we should add to the wheel. And if you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe as well. And we'll see you in the next one.